As Newsmax Prime continues, we are starting to get some important details about that deadly Amtrak derailment near Philadelphia last night. Investigators have recovered the train's data recorder and have confirmed that train was going over 100 miles per hour in a 50-mile-per-hour zone. We are so pleased to welcome to the anchor desk Morgan Thompson. Morgan, I guess it was back in 1971, in May of 1971, that the entity known as Amtrak came into existence with all the federal dollars attached to it. You've got some crash history involving Amtrak and even some more important information about this particular location, what happened earlier where last night's crash occurred.
Yes, JD, I do. Unfortunately, this isn't the first or even the most deadly crash in this area. In 1943, the Congressional Limited, the fastest train on the Pennsylvania Railroad system, not an Amtrak train, derailed less than a mile from the current crash site. That crash claimed nearly 80 lives and over 100 injuries. It was later found to be due to mechanical failure. The deadliest crash in Amtrak's history was in 1993, when a train plunged into the bayou near Mobile, Alabama, killing 42 passengers and 5 crew members. Amtrak has a long history of derailments as well as crashes in its 40 years of existence. In 2007, 5 people were killed in Modesto, California, after an Amtrak train collided with a sports utility vehicle. One also happened in Florida in 1993. 6 people were killed and dozens hurt when an Amtrak train rammed into a truck at a railway crossing near Fort Lauderdale. JD, you'd think train travel would be a relatively safe way to travel, but that's not always the case.
Well, an accident like this does bring out reminders of previous accidents. I'm sure that Amtrak would say, by and large, when you think of the number of passengers, especially through the Northeast Corridor, its trains have been by and large safe. Now, what is less certain is really the role for federal taxpayers to play in subsidizing this travel. It has been a bone of contention, I know, from my days on Capitol Hill. And I have to tell you, Morgan, one of the dismaying aspects of all the coverage today was this rush to say more money will solve this problem. Of course, forgetting about the fact the Obama administration in the first year of Mr. Obama's presidency got what, $800 billion for infrastructure stimulus? Where did that money go?
And you've got to talk about regulations as well. You know, if it turns out, and it really appears to be the case, that speed was a factor, why was that train going over 100 miles an hour on a 50-mile-an-hour turn? And interesting to point out, the conductor did survive the crash. He so far isn't speaking. He's got a lawyer and isn't releasing a statement. But I think what he has to say will be very interesting as well.
Oh, and there will be more on this story, and we look forward to having more with you, Morgan, in the not-too-distant future. Thank you, ma'am. Well, now, it's the time to hear what you have to say via social media. Today's comments all arrived over our electronic transom via email. Our first comment comes from Mike, who says he's turning 62 and is concerned about the future of Social Security. He writes, after decades of misspending and misallocating Social Security benefits to illegals and deadbeats, that would be the politicians. I'm not one anymore. The politicians, say Social Security is broke. Duh. Before they entirely destroy Social Security, I want my money back. Well, I got to tell you, Mike, as the years pass for me, I think there might be something to your comments, and we appreciate you writing in. Our next comment comes from Albert, who commented about new Attorney General Loretta Lynch demanding that Baltimore follow the law and that special DOJ investigation going on there. Albert asks a very pointed question. The AG says that Baltimore must obey the Constitution and federal laws. So why are the AG, Holder, the President, the IRS, the FCC, etc., exempt from the Constitution and federal laws? A good question, Albert. Thanks for asking it. And finally, our last comment. This one's my favorite. It comes from Dale, who writes, quote, I watched America's Forum and thoroughly enjoyed it, and now Newsmax Prime is taking off and I'm enjoying it too. Obviously, that has to do with the fact that you're the anchor. Dale, thank you very much. Very perceptive. That'll do it for tonight. We'll see you back tomorrow night. Stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.